Hi, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Ba'Hashem Kadash, the one is the Apostle GMS, salutations to you. I can push this word with truth and sincerely. Today I'm going to a response video to this, it says DHS threat, race war with fake video of black teen, and this pretty much went viral. It was all over the internet. But basically, Esau is doing his best, to start a race war. These people really want a race war. And the original video, right here's this is the video of the guy. You can check it out. But basically going into and the person that made the original video, he did a response to it that he didn't do that. It's basically the government that did it. So we know what's going on, but it says eyes were on the way, word in the streets, cartels put a 50K bounty on you. And that wasn't the original video. The caption, it didn't say that. It said something about, Iran, when that was going on. But this is, and they make good points because, brothers have done lessons on this too, because this is, how you call it, the Department of Homeland Security. They should have done their diligently search, But they don't care because they want to start a race war. It says, if you threaten or lay hands on the law enforcement officers, we will hunt you down and we will find you really quick. You'll find out really quick. Basically like a threat. This is why we tell you, Jakes, you so-called Negroes, so-called Native Americans, so-called Mexicans, so-called Puerto Ricans, Esau is not your friend. Esau is not your buddy. Esau doesn't like you. And what I mean by Esau is these so-called white people. These so-called white people, they don't like us. They don't like us being here. That's why back then they were trying to kill us off. But right now, it's man, because with this whole, I'm going to get the scripture and then this is Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You can't trust this devil. We've been telling you, Jakes, from the apostles, the elders, and the I came through the four corners of the earth, teaching the correct doctrine in the true name, which is Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua. We've been warning you. We've been warning you, Jakes, that, hey, Jacob's trouble is coming. Esau's going to do something. He's going to try to start a race war. He's going to do this and that. And we were coming out the scriptures, man. This is what the scriptures says, and it's coming to pass. Our enemy is showing his horns. Our enemy has always had his horns, but he's showing you more. He's showing you more and more. And not only with these whole ICE agents, they're not only targeting Northern Kingdom, they're targeting Southern Kingdom too. So they're targeting Latinos, so-called Latinos, and so-called black people too. This should tell you something, man. Esau has always hated us. Esau is our enemy. And they talking about they're trying to make America great again. They're trying to get all the criminals, drug dealers, but they're picking random people off the street. People that are selling, people that are working. The biggest criminals here in America are you so-called white people. They're their own people. They're the biggest criminals on the face of the earth. The biggest devils on the face of the earth. These especially the leaders, the governments, the Republicans, whether it be the Republicans, all that, all the Congress, the senators, from the president on down, they're all corrupt. America is corrupt. And the real elites of this world, the Rockefellers and so, man. These are the biggest criminals on the face of the earth. If you want to say criminals, And Esau, you're being exposed daily. You're being exposed daily. But we've been warning you, Jakes, that this man, this red man, is your biggest enemy. He doesn't like you. Look at all the things that are going on, man. Look at all the videos that are on social media. How they're picking up Jake, how they're doing Jake. Look out throughout the whole history, how they treated us. It's nothing new. Don't be surprised. It's nothing new. This Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Esau has that perpetual hatred. Esau hates you, Jakes. And what I mean by Jakes is you so-called, not so-called, you Israelites, which are you so-called Negroes, so-called Native Americans, so-called Mexicans, so-called Puerto Ricans, and so. But Esau, he's showing you, man. He's literally showing you. They're doing it on video too, showing you that they don't care. They don't care if they're being video recorded. Yeah, they do got masks on, because but majority, some of the Edomites, they don't have masks on. And there's a few Jakes in there, but they definitely got their mask on. But Esau is showing you that he don't like you. He don't want you here. They're talking about criminals, drug dealers, thefts, this and that. It's just an excuse. To pick you up, to do that to Jake. All that whole department is wicked, man. How they're doing this shit, man. But the Lord sees all, man. Esau, you gotta remember, you're touching, even though our people are wicked, even though they're worshiping idols, this and that, you're still touching the children of Israel, the chosen people of Israel, the chosen people of God. So yes, you will pay for all the things you have done. Because you're touching the apple of the Lord's eye. This is Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So this whole thing that's going on, they're speaking a lot of lies, man. They just want to target you, Jakes. Especially with this whole thing that's going on with, Southern Kingdom. How they're saying, they're coming for you, you're going to find out. They just want to target Jake. They want to mess up Jake. As they always have done. They're going to keep doing till, our power comes back, until Yahweh Shai returns back. But they're going to pay, man. They're going to pay for all this, man. Because Esau has done a lot of wicked shit. They had lied and deceived the whole world. They're not going to get away with this. They're going to pay for all the... Don't they say here in the world, you do the crime, you do the time? Esau, you're about to do the time. You know, but also a lot of you Jakes are getting messed up because you're living that wicked lifestyle. You know, a lot of these things that are happening to Jake is because they're living that wicked lifestyle. They're worshiping idols. They're following the ways of the heathens. They're committing adultery. They're eating abominable foods. They don't want to hearken unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. So this is why also this is happening. You know, but Esau is doing his moves, you know, through the power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, because the Lord is moving him. You know, we know that the Lord controls all. The Lord controls, you know, these kings, the president, the governors. You know, it's in the palm of the Lord's hand. You know, this is only going to get worse. Esau's going to keep trying to deceive, you know, being a deceiver that he is, and his lies. You know, but that's all I want to go into. You know, hopefully this video was edifying. Give all praise and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem HaKadosh. The one is the Apostle GMS. So teachings to you I can push this word with truth and sincerely. Till next time, Shalom.